the Aycliffe Stadium in County Durham. And we've got a bonus for you today, because in addition to the Formula 1 stock cars chasing the ScreenSport points, we're going to feature as well the Brisker Formula 2 stock cars. They're having their first event now, the cars on the rolling lap, and there are the yellow tops just rolling through picture. One or two of the top names in Formula 2 stock car racing with us this afternoon, including Russell Taylor, who we can see with a large silver aerofoil. He's the national points champion, and he is in fact racing pending an appeal on a 3-month ban, which has been issued to Russell for dangerous racing, believe it or not, even in stock car racing. But as I say, he's racing pending that appeal and hoping that the appeal will see him okay to continue and race. We'll see how he gets on this afternoon in the Formula 2s, because the green flag is down and they're away and racing. And there go the white tops down the home straight, off into the first turn. Around that turn, the yellows now pushing and vying for positions. Now, Russell Taylor, not surprisingly, the first of the red tops to get away. The last one away, Chris Emery in the 133 car. And we're with the lead cars now, coming back into the home straight. And it looks as though it's the 871 car that goes through in the lead there. That's 73, Peter Overton, taking that bend and into the back straight. The white tops going through, the yellows following them through, and already Russell Taylor up with some of the low graders who started at the front. There's Taylor pushing his way through in the 744 car. And the rest of the star men tucked in behind. There's Paul Roach in 722, former teammate of Russell Taylor when they were known as the Skoll Bandits, but these days Paul Roach racing on his own in the 722 car. There's a tangle on that bottom turn. Rob Shearer, white top driver 46, in trouble down there. Now there's Russell Taylor going through. Right behind him, Scottish driver Jimmy Wallace in 16. And there's Taylor pushing through. And he's under pressure now from Paul Roach in 722. And Martin Lamb, another starman there with them in 52. So the starmen working their way up through the field. But it's Russell Taylor who leads those starmen, and you can see him just disappearing into that bend at the end of that straight in 744, climbing up through the places. And not finding too much traffic to worry about at the moment as he throws his car into that turn. The number 29 car of John Reed just in front of him. He'll be intending to pass John Reed this time down the straight into that bend. And just a tap on the bumper there, Reed is forced out wide, and Russell Taylor moves through nicely on the inside. So there's Taylor climbing through the field in 744. The leader's coming back on the home straight now. And it looks as though it's 871 Ray Armstrong who has the lead position. So Taylor must be up in 3rd or 4th place now in 744. Down that straight he goes, chasing the leaders, and they're on the leading bunch. Taylor in 4th place, in fact. And it's Armstrong the leader. 871, he goes through. Russell Taylor moving through to 3rd there. 36, Ed Panney's under pressure now from Russell Taylor. Panney is in 2nd place. That's the 1, 2, 3. Down that straight they go, into the next turn. Armstrong forced out wide, and Panic gets the bumper treatment from Taylor. But Panic still holds on to the lead. Taylor comes out wide down the straight. Down into the bend he goes. He'll nip back onto the inside and try to shove Panic out, but he's not close enough. Now he tries to get again down that back straight. And there's a tackle there. That's 871, the early leader, Ray Armstrong. He's gone now. And Russell Taylor goes past them, and he's taken the lead from Ed Pannett. So Taylor in the lead in 744. 101, John Rutter there in trouble. He's on the infield. And that's the top two, and it's Russell Taylor, 744, looking as though he's going to go away from the rest of the field now. Ed Pannett in 2nd place in 36. And those two seem to have quite a lead over the rest of them. Well, there's Taylor. That's the pits bend he goes round now, with Ed Pannett still 2nd in 36. So Taylor in amongst the back markers, round from the turnstile bend into the home straight, past that parked car. Mr. Starter just telling them they've got 5 laps to run. So we're into the closing stages of this opening heat for the Formula 2 stock cars. Now Russell Taylor has the advantage, a clear advantage in 744. Around that parked car again, onto the home straight. Ed Pannett 2nd in 36. Jimmy Wallace back in 3rd in car number 16. There he goes. And Paul Roach moving through in 722. And in fact, it looks as though it's Roach who's in 3rd place, not Jimmy Wallace. That's John Love at 760, who's rolled away onto the middle. And it looks as though he's going to drop out of the race. Russell Taylor has less than 3 laps to run now. In the lead position with Ed Pannett 2nd in 36. Taylor goes down the back straight, down towards the turnstile bend, holding on to a clear lead. So goes again, and he's now got less than 2 laps to run. That's second place, Ed Panic in 36. And that's Taylor holding on to the lead, and barring any unforeseen incidents, he's well on his way to victory in the opening heat. Chris Emery grinds to a halt there behind that parked car. 1-3-3, Chris Emery, Starman. We're not showing high up the places in this one. And Russell Taylor's on his last lap in the 7:44 car. There's Panic second. Albrecht closing in on him in 7:22. Down around the turnstile bend they go. There's the checkered flag. And Russell Taylor wins heat 1. Ed Panic finishes in second place. So the checkered flag out as the minor place drivers come through at the end of the racing distance in the first heat for the Formula 2 stock cars. And the 1-2-3, Russell Taylor the winner, car 744, second. The yellow top driver 36, Ed Panic, and in third place Starman Paul Roach in car 722. And now the first event of the day for the Formula 1 stock cars in the ScreenSport SuperStars series. And 2 of the top 3 in the series are down there on track for this one. Amongst those Starmen, at the back there we can see John Lund, car number 53 on the outside back row. He's 3 points clear of Bobby Burns in the ScreenSport series before today's meeting started. Alongside him is Frankie Wainman in 212. So the top 2 men in the National Points Championship this season at the back of the grid in this first heat. They've got the green flag and the race is underway. And those 2 at the back have got their work cut out because a lot of low graders in front of them. They've got to work their way through in the space of 16 laps. And there are the Starmen getting away. Richard Ainsworth, the first of them in 3.54. Ray Tilsley, Mr. B, hard on his back on there in 85. So down they go around that bottom turn. Low graders heading back into the home straight. And quite a bit of traffic pushing and shoving there. And John Paget in trouble in 449. He's covered the fence rather hard. And that's the 99 car turning around and going out down on that bottom turn. And Brian Spate, 374, bouncing in. Chris Wilkinson, I think, in behind him in 121. And that looks like the lead man. And it's David Thompson in 86. So into the home straight they come. Some of the blue tops there doing some pushing and shoving, and Tilsley's gone with Ainsworth. Ainsworth puts Tilsley out into the fence there at 85. So Tilsley dumped in the fence and out of the running at the moment. There's 250 Gerald Taylor getting nudged onto the infield there as Frankie Wainman tries to get past him in 212. Bit of dust flying there as Taylor took to the infield. 216 Graham France, one of the blue tops there as those blue tops battle it out for the minor places. That's Joe Jopling in 452. He's moving through the field, and John Lund in trouble in 53, and he's tangled out with Terry Forster. So Lund having a rough ride, and that's given away the position he had over Frankie Wainman. Wainman has regained that position over Lund now. So Wainman trying to edge forward over John Lund. Wainman desperate for the points in the National Points Championship because Lund is a couple of 100 points ahead. That's the lead man now, 367 Ian Smith, into the back straight he goes. Blue top driver, won a big race here at Aycliffe earlier this season when we were here to watch. Oh, and he's gone out, he's put himself out down on that bend. And Wainman forced onto the infield there as he goes past Graham France. Steve Booth in 446 climbs out of his car. He's out of the running. And John Lund in 53 still chasing hard after Frankie Wainman in 212, but Wainman just edging away from him now. Graham France trying to stay with them in 216. Down the home straight they go. The Union Jack is out, so we're into the second half of this race. And it looks as though it's 452 Joe Jopling in the lead. As they come through, there's Jopling. That's the lead man. Around the turn he goes, into the back straight. Lapping the back markers. And as yet, not under pressure from the star men behind him, but under a bit of pressure there with yellow top Chris Wilkinson, and Jopling's got it wrong and gone. Trying a bit too hard there to get past that back marker, so Jopling goes out, and we've seen 1 or 2 leaders disappeared out of this one. And it looks as though he's put Pat Byrne in the lead in 310. So leaders coming and going all the time, and there's Frankie Wayman getting closer to the front. The end of the home straight, they come again. And there's Pat Byrne being pushed along by Frankie Wayman in 2-1-2. Wayman gives a nudge on the back bumper there. Beautiful cornering by Wayman there, just nudging Byrne aside, but Byrne drops back in front of him down that back straight. Down into the turn they go. And Wayman making hard work of it at the moment, trying to get past Pat Byrne. Tries again, as we see they've got 5 laps to run. So Pat Byrne holding on very nicely. Wayman keeps nudging up on the inside, but Byrne keeps chopping back in front of him on the turns. Around past that parking lot on the turnstile bend. And Wayman looks as though he's got the advantage now, he does. He shoots through on the inside. Nice bit of driving by Wayman. Byrne fights back, but he's not close enough to use the bumper and tap Wayman out, and Wayman streaks away from Byrne now, down that straight. Through that turn they go. Wayman the leader in 2-1-2. Byrne is second in 3-1-0. Down the home straight again with now just 3 laps to run. Back marker in front of Frankie Wayman as he goes down the back straight, but that back marker proving no problem. Wayman drifting around that bend into the home straight. White top driver just pulls onto the infield across the path of Wayman. 2 laps to run now for Wayman. 2-1-6, Graham France coming through. It looks as though the engine developing a bit of smoke. Quite possibly a problem for Graham France. But he's unlikely to catch the leader anyway at this stage, Frankie Wayman, because that's the last lap sign for Frankie Wayman. So there is the national points champion, Frankie Wayman, in the 2-1-2 car on his last lap in this first heat of the day for the ScreenSport Superstars, the Formula Ones. Well, Wayman wins it in 2-1-2. Over the line he goes to victory. And the second man home was 3-1-0, Pat Byrne, finishing in 3rd place. It was 2-1-6, Graham France. So back to the Formula 2s with another event for them this afternoon, and that's the green flag. They're away and racing. We've just seen Russell Taylor win the opening race of the day for the Formula 2s. He's in this one along with the other star men. And there they are, and Russell Taylor once again moving away, the first of the star men to get into the action. And the last man away, as before, was Chris Emery in 133. And there is Taylor going through the field. Superb stock car driver who doesn't meet with the approval of everyone out there racing, although he meets with the approval of most of the fans on the terraces for his up-and-atom stock car action. And there he is, surging through the field again. John Rigg under pressure now at 29, just in front of Taylor. And somebody rolling off onto the infield there. It looks like Ed Paniz, in fact, who went rather well in the first heat and scored a 2nd place. He certainly won't score a 2nd in this one. And there's John Rigg in trouble, 29. Peter Overton just alongside him in 73. With John Rigg back on track. And it looks as though, just for a moment there, he got a flat back tyre, but I think it was just the curb bouncing around. And there's Taylor making light work of some of the low graders in this event. 744, moves around that turn. And there's John Rigg in trouble in car number 29. Looks as though the bonnet's flown up. And tangled on the home straight, and that's one of the star men in trouble there. It's Chris Emery in 133. He's tangled out with John Lovett in 760. So Taylor looks as though he's in the lead and clear of the field. That's Jimmy Wallace from Scotland in number 16. Unable to live with Taylor at the moment. So Wallace goes around that turn, car number 16, with Paul Broach behind him in 722. And another star man in touch there with the leaders is Martin Lamb in 52. So with very little traffic to worry about, the star men are making their way forward. That's the battle on behind the lead man. Martin Lamb just nudging John Lovett aside there in 760. Nicely done by Martin Lamb. That's the way to shift them over. And now white top Dave Pinkney has the cheek to have a go at yellow top John Lovett. John Lovett suddenly realises he's just been passed by a white top and fights back. Meanwhile, up front, it's Russell Taylor there, about to lap Starman Chris Emery, the 133 car. So Taylor nicely clear of the field. Down the home straight he goes again. And in this sort of mood, Taylor is quite capable of making a clean sweep of all the Formula 2 events today. Through down the home straight, and that's the gap before we come to the second place man. Still no sign of him, just coming out of that turn now. There he is, Jimmy Wallace, number 16, the starman from Scotland. He's in second place, and he's good half a lap behind Russell Taylor, with Martin Lamb holding third in car number 52. There is the third place man, Martin Lamb. And we're going into the closing stages of this one. A nice shot there of Jimmy Wallace juggling with the steering wheel as he tries to get it round the turn. And less than 4 to run now for Russell Taylor as he goes around the pits turn. Back markers around him. And Russell Taylor making it look very easy at the moment. But if he should hit trouble and tangle out with a back marker, there will be a roar from the sections of the crowd who don't like his style of driving. And there'll also be a moment of pleasure from Jimmy Wallace, because that will put him in the lead. But as yet, no problems for Russell Taylor. He's rounding that turn again. He's down the home straight, and this looks like the 2 laps to run signal. There it goes. So Taylor again down that straight, round the turn. Got the track weighed up to perfection, and he's about to start his last lap. There's Jimmy Wallace coming through. And then Martin Lamb. So second and third have just gone through. Meanwhile, the leader comes back down the home straight, and Russell Taylor wins his second Formula 2 race of the afternoon in car 744. Second place in that one went to Scottish driver Jimmy Wallace in 16, and third Lancashire driver Martin Lamb in car number 52. So we move on to the second event of the day for the Formula 1 stock cars, and don't forget they're chasing points in the ScreenSport SuperStars series. 511 Peter Hall down there alongside Richard Ainsworth in 354. Neither of them featuring very highly in the ScreenSport points today, but an excellent chance today for them to get some points and move up that list. Behind them come the Superstars, Frankie Wainman, who we've seen win the first event today, John Lund, who we've since heard was in fact doing most of that race with a flat front tyre and did remarkably well to finish in 5th place. We see how they get on in this one, because the green flag is down and they're away in racing. Heat 2 for the Formula 1 stock cars. The white tops move away down the home straight. Round the turn they go, a couple of the reds just bouncing together there. And it was Peter Hall in 511 who caught out, was forced out wide, allowing Wainman to move through. Wainman has the advantage, and there's John Paget, 449 in the fence. He went to the fence in Heat 1. He's done it again rather early on in Heat 2. And a puff of smoke from the tyres there as Ainsworth tries to hold on with Wainman trying to go by. Wainman climbs up the back wheel, but they're all safely around the turn. And that's Buster Watson, 59, scraping the fence. Tangle in front of him, and it's taken Ainsworth out. Pat Byrne in the fence. Ainsworth didn't see till it was too late. In he goes with a bang. 113 Russ Humphrey there, further on down the field. And there they go down the home straight with Joe Jopling in the lead by the look of things in 452. So the A-graders, the blue roof cars, go around that turn into the home straight. Ian Smith in 367 there, moving through the field. And that's Joe Jopling in 452. Ian Smith behind him in 367, and then Graham France in 216. 3 off the blue tops. Bourne Starmen in trouble up on the top turn there. Richard Ainsworth scrapes the fence. So did Frankie Wainman in 212. They're both running again, haven't lost too much ground. And there's John Lund in 53, and it looks as though he's got the advantage over Wainman in this one. About a quarter of a lap as he goes past the 294 John Dowson car. Down the home straight they go. There's Wayman going through, and then Ainsworth. So Wayman now trying to get past blue top driver Gerald Taylor, one of the local lads here at the Aycliffe track. And the Pat Byrne car causing a problem for them, parked in the fence as it is, the 310 car, when they come off that turnstile bend. And Taylor doing well to hold off the challenge from Wayman at the moment. Wayman under pressure himself, starman behind him is Peter Hall. There they go, Wayman, Hall and Ainsworth. And that's the lead man, it's Joe Jopling. Jester Joe, they call him, lives in Aycliffe village, just up the road from the stadium. Local driver, and he's been chased by blue top Ian Smith, 367, and another blue top, Graham France, in 216. And there they are, the 1, 2, 3 on the home straight. Blue tops leading the way. Round the pit turn they go, down the back straight, that's second and third. 367 and 216. And John Lund back in fourth or fifth place in car number 53. In fact, he's through to fourth now and chasing the leaders. There they go, the top three. With superstar John Lund, the ScreenSport series leader, chasing after those three leaders in fourth place. And there he goes, around that turn, number 53. And the blue tops disappearing away into the distance. A battle going on there with those blues. Nicely done by Graham France, showing Ian Smith aside. Ian Smith, something of a track specialist here at Aycliffe, but Graham France had the measure of him then in 216. And there's Lund catching those blues in front of him. So an interesting finishing prospect for this one. Ian Smith trying to get back at Graham France. He won't be very pleased about that nudge on the bumper that put him out wide. Jopling the leader. There he is in the 452 car. And that behind him is second place Graham France. And the lap boards are out now, so we're into the closing stages. We're in the last 5 laps. Jopling leads, back marker behind him, then Graham France, then Ian Smith, and he's right under pressure now from 53 John Lund. They've got less than 2 to run now. Through they go. And it doesn't look as though John Lund's going to get to the front, but he's certainly going to gain a position there because he's gone past Ian Smith in 367. So that puts Lund up into third place, but he's running out of laps. He's surely not going to catch Joe Jopling now in the 452 car on the last lap. So Joe Jopling down the back straight for the last time. Graham France chasing after him. There they are, first and second, down into the turnstile bend for the last time they go. Coming back to the home straight. And that's the way they're going to finish. Jopling wins it, France second. Lund gets up to third place to grab some more ScreenSport points. So that's a win for the local driver from Aycliffe Village. Jester Joe Jopling, the winner in car 452. Second place went to Graham France in 216. And in third place, it was superstar number 53, John Lund. So the third race of the day for the Formula 2 stock cars, and this one is their final of the afternoon, the main race. And they're on the rolling lap. And the question is who, if anyone, can stop Russell Taylor from making it a hat-trick of wins. Certainly the way he went through the field in the first 2 heats, it is unlikely that anyone can stop him on sheer speed. But you never know, there might just be a back marker tangle waiting for him. We shall see, because they're under starters' orders. And now they're racing as the green flag is waved into the Formula 2 stock car final of the afternoon. Around the first turn they go. And a bit of pushing and shoving there. The Starmen trying to stop Russell Taylor before he gets too far away from them. That's the leader coming through, Dave Pinkley in 747, the leading white top. John Rigg in 29 goes around the turn. And on the back straight, Ed Panic just in front of him in car number 36. We saw Ed Panic do rather well in the first heat this afternoon when he took second place. There's Taylor going through. 614, Steve Sheehan in trouble. He's on the infield and seems to be out of the running. And that's 29, John Rigg then down the back straight. Oh, and he almost tipped it over then. Just got his wheels on the curb and the back wheels just wouldn't go round, so he was up in the air. And the the John Rigg car does look as though it's just a bit awkward to handle, the number 29 car. And there's the man, Russell Taylor, 7:44. There's Ed Pannett in 36 moving down the back straight. And that's our lead man coming back into the home straight, going out very wide there, going through, and Russell Taylor moving through. Looks as though he's third now. One of the star men, I think it's Jimmy Wallace, 16, still well in touch with Russell Taylor. It is indeed. Wallace just going through there. And there is Wallace in touch with Taylor. Still in the early stages. 9:24. Paul Carter separates them at the moment. Wallace trying to get past Carter and continue his challenge on Russell Taylor. And that's the top three down the back straight into the turnstile bend. 36, Ed Pannett has the lead. Russell Taylor is second in 7:44. Jimmy Wallace third in 16. There they go down the home straight. Paul Carter goes through in fourth place. And Russell Taylor not getting away from them yet, but he's now bidding to take the lead from Ed Pannett as they go down that straight. There's the touch of the bumper. Pannett trying to fight back there. But Taylor's through. He's in the lead now in the 7:44 car. Pannett trying to stay with him. Wallace trying to stay in touch with them. And that's the 1, 2, 3 this time down the back straight. Taylor in the lead. Pannett holding second. Jimmy Wallace chasing him through in third place. And now Wallace bidding to go second and keep up the challenge on Russell Taylor. Behind them comes Phil Van Herder in the 748 car. One of the blue top drivers down in about 5th or 6th position. Well, there's Taylor in the lead. Wallace lapping that back marker, Dave Chance, 8:54. And still Taylor not shaking off Wallace completely as they come through again. Certainly Taylor is in the position that he can't afford to make a mistake at the moment, because Wallace right there. Oh, and Dave Pinkley, 7:47, has got a problem there with the back spoiler hanging off the car. Dave Chance in trouble there on the home straight, and he's very lucky to get that car onto the infield instead of in the fence ripping an axle out. And that's the battle for the lead. Taylor has it, but Jimmy Wallace still holding on just about in car number 16. And he'll be hoping that Russell Taylor just gets held up behind a couple of back markers just to give him a chance to close in and maybe nudge the Taylor car out wide. No sign of back marker problems yet for Russell Taylor. That's John Lovett, 760. He's lapping now down on the back straights, and he certainly makes short work of the back markers. So just having a nudge at the back end of the Taylor car was Lovett. And we're going into the closing stages now. That was the 5 laps to run board that the starter was showing to the drivers. So Jimmy Wallace running out of time, and we can see that the gap has increased now. Wallace not in picture that time as they went down the back straight. There he is now, losing touch with Russell Taylor as we go through the closing stages of this Formula 2 final. And it really is beginning to look as though Taylor's going to make it a hat-trick of wins, 2 heats and a final. There's Wallace still fighting hard, but he must know now that he's running out of time. Dave Pinkley still motoring around with that loose spoiler on the 747 car. 29 John Rigg, lapped for the second time by Taylor. Now 2 laps to run for Taylor. There's Wallace in second. Coming through into the home straight again, about to start the last lap. Russell Taylor goes through from that turn. There's Jimmy Wallace battling with back marker John Rigg. Around the turn once again into the home straight, and this time looking for the checkered flag. Russell Taylor in 7:44 wins the Formula 2 final. Jimmy Wallace finishes second in car number 16. And the battle for third place, it looks as though it's Ed Pannett across the line third in 36. And we move on now to the Formula 1 final, their third event of the day. And this is the one where the main ScreenSport points are available. We've seen Frankie Wayman win a race, and we've seen Blue Top Joe Jopling win a race. And we're with the Blue Tops at the moment as they roll away for this Formula One final. That's Graham France, and he's done pretty well today. A third in the first heat, second in the second heat, and he's rolling up the points in the ScreenSport series here at Aycliffe. Quite a strong lineup of Blue Tops. Gerald Taylor on the inside there in 250, and alongside him Joe Jopling, who we've seen win a race in the 452 car. And Peter Hall looks as though he's got a problem. Starman 511 from Skipton in North Yorks, and he looks as though he's going to be a non-starter. And there's John Lund in 53. Started the day as series leader, but hasn't done too much winning. A fifth and a third for him, so not too many points in the bag as yet. They slip the clutches. It looks as though we've got to go this time. We have. There's the green. They're away into the Formula One final. Round the first turn they go at the end of the home straight, and a tangle up at the top end there, and the Blue Tops are all in trouble. And that's Buster Watson, 59, just rejoining the action. It looks as though John Dowson stayed on the infield in 294 after that home straight tangle right at the start of the race. And the white top leaders go through. David Toulson in 86 from Neil Brigg in 87. They are first and second on the back straight now. Nice shot of those two coming around the turn with Terry Forster third, and then Chris Wilkinson and Graham France and Ian Smith. And that's the top six at the moment. First and second through again. Puff of smoke from the tyres there as Ian Smith applies the brakes going into that turn in 367. And up front, Neil Brigg has taken over the lead in the number 87 car. As the early leader, Toulson, goes wide. There he is, just getting passed by the bulk of the field. Frankie Wayman off to a slow start, and that was the leader, Neil Brigg, 87, just bounced the fence down there, so he's no longer the leader, and it looks as though it's Terry Forster in 414, but he's just had a hefty clout on the back bumper, and that's put paid to his chance. And it's the Blue Tops who've surged through, and it's Graham France in the lead in 216. With Joe Jopling close behind him in 452, and then Ian Smith in 367. And any one of those three Blue Tops quite capable of winning this final. As we've seen from France already scoring well today, Jopling a race winner, and Ian Smith the track specialist. Another Blue Top in behind them is Russ Humphrey in 113. The bumper goes in there as Jopling trying to nudge Graham France aside, and he does, and goes into the lead. And then Ian Smith takes advantage of that, and he streaks across the middle there. And Ian Smith goes into the lead momentarily, but he's lost it again. And so he should have to take a shortcut around that turn. Neil Brigg clobbering the fence down there at number 87. The rope's still bouncing about. And that's probably jarred his false teeth, should he have any. Ian Smith goes by again in 367. And there's Neil Brigg gone again in 87. He's had a very rough ride in the opening stages of this Formula One final. That's John Lund going through nicely in car number 53. And more cars on the infield. John Lund forced to jump over the curb. And Lund is the new leader now, with Ian Smith down to second and Jopling third. So there's Lund the leader, 53. Ian Smith second. Frankie Wayman now up to third, and there he goes with Joe Jopling just behind him in fourth. So that's the leader coming around that bottom turn into the home straight. John Lund the leader. There's Ian Smith behind him second. Frankie Wayman is third, and Joe Jopling fourth. That's the top four, and there they are down the home straight. And Joe Jopling giving Frankie Wayman a rough ride at the moment. The bumper's connecting there on the turn. Wayman trying to edge away from the Jopling bumper this time on the bend, and he manages to steer clear of it. And there's 53 John Lund lapping the man who led them off on lap one, David Toulson, the white top, in 86. As Lund goes down the back straight, and there's a tangle with Terry Forster gone out, 414. So Lund the clear leader. And it looks as though he's on his way to picking up the points he didn't get in the opening heats. Ian Smith second, but under pressure from Wayman, and Jopling third. So with Lund clear of them, there's quite a battle going on for second place, and there it is. Ian Smith, Frankie Wayman and Joe Jopling. They're all chasing that man, John Lund. Oh, Wayman has found a gap now. He goes past Ian Smith. Smith trying to fight back. But he's got the experience of Frankie Wayman to deal with now if he's going to shove Wayman out of the way. He's trying hard on that turn. It looks as though he's found a gap on the inside, and has he got enough? He has indeed. Ian Smith has regained second place, but Frankie Wayman won't settle for that. The bumper goes in hard and Smith is nudged out again. So that's second and third. It's Wayman in 2-1-2 and Smith in 3-6-7. So there they are, down the home straight again, 2-1-2 in second place. John Lund is a long way clear of them in car number 53. So Wayman has second, still under pressure from Ian Smith in 367, and Joe Jopping waiting just behind them to pick up the pieces should they tangle. The bumper's in again, and Ian Smith trying desperately to nudge Wayman aside again, coming off the turn and just fighting up down the inside. Getting the wheels on the curb there, on the rumble strip around the bend. So we're in the closing stages now. The 5 laps are on board is being shown to the drivers. Well, Wayman's got a bit of daylight between himself and Ian Smith. He'll be relieved to do that. John Lund has got less than 4 laps to run. He's well over a quarter of a lap clear of this tremendous battle for second place, with the experienced Frankie Wayman trying to hold off the track specialist Ian Smith. Through down that straight again, and Ian Smith finds room to get the bumper in again, and has he got enough again to get through on the inside? He's trying desperately hard down the home straight, but just not enough power off that turn. So Wayman still holds second. And there's Joplin still in touch, and I would imagine that if those 3 stay together like that, the bumpers are really going to connect on the last lap. Down the home straight, and Ian Smith looks as though he's done it this time. He's through, he's back into second. Now, and that bumper went in hard there, felt the jolt from here in the commentary position as Wayman regained second. So Wayman back into second, and the last lap board is out, so time is running out for Ian Smith as they come through again. Down the home straight they go. There's John Lund, the leader, on his last. He's down into the turnstile bend, back into the home straight. John Lund a long way clear of them. He's going to collect the checkered flag. There goes the checkered. John Lund wins it in car number 53. The battle for second place is settled. Frankie Wayman gets second. Ian Smith finishes third in 367. And Joe Joplin was fourth in 452. So a tremendous race there with the battle for second place in the closing stages. Ian Smith doing enough to get past Wayman a couple of times, but not managing to stay there. The result, John Lund the winner in 53. Second was 2-1-2, Frankie Wayman, and in third it was 367, Ian Smith. Russell Taylor then, the man who's won all the races this afternoon, the 2 heats and the final, and this time he starts at the front of the grid, just cleaning off his visor on the helmet there, asking for a push start from the car behind. And the reason he starts at the front of the grid is that having won the final, the 3rd race, he's now handicapped by 1 full lap. So he has to lead the White Tops round on the rolling lap, and it's going to make things rather interesting as he comes from that 1 lap handicap, because the mood he's in, he's quite capable of winning this race from the handicap. And as far as the grading points are concerned, any driver who starts with the 1 lap handicap and can then get into the points placings actually gets double points, and he also gets double prize money. So Russell Taylor with that 1 lap handicap, giving the star men chance to try and get away from him. But no doubt when that green flag goes down, Russell will be off at a fair rate of knots, having of course clear track in front of him for at least half a lap. And there's the driver who must emerge as favourite to win this one if he can steer clear of trouble, having the opportunity to start a good distance in front of Russell Taylor. It's Jimmy Wallace in 16, because Jimmy chased Russell very hard in the Formula 2 final and only just failed to get past him. So they're beginning to just build up the speed a bit as they come under starters' orders for the Formula 2 all-comers race. There's the green flag. They're away and racing. How far up the places will Russell Taylor get from the 1 lap handicap? The yellow's moving away down there, and Jimmy Wallace off to a flying start in number 16. There's the leaders coming through. Dave Chance in 854 has the lead position. Ed Pannitt, another driver who's gone well this afternoon, in 36, the yellow roof car. He's back in 3rd place at the moment. And those are the leading 2 down the back straight. White Tops in the early stages in the lead. Dave Chance in 854. That's 3rd, 4th and 5th, and Jimmy Wallace moving through very nicely in car number 16. And by my reckoning, he's up into 4th place now. So there they go, and we'll see how far up the grid Russell Taylor has got at the moment. Well, he's half a lap down on the Starmen now, and already picking off one of the back markers. So those are the leaders. Through they go. Dave Chance in 8.54 and Jimmy Wallace through to second in 16. Ed Panic giving a rough ride on that turn. He almost took Wallace around there, but Wallace managed to hold on. And Wallace now trying to take the lead position in number 16. And through he goes into the lead. Wallace the leader. Panic second in 36. Two drivers who've had a good afternoon's racing here at the Aycliffe Stadium. So they're first and second with Paul Carter in third now in 9.24. There they are, first and second down that straight into the turnstile bend. So let's see how far up the grid Taylor has got now as the leaders go through down the home straight. And there he is, and he's just half a lap down on the leader. So he's up into about 9th or 10th place, I would think, but half a lap down on the leader, and that's quite easy for him to make up the way he's been going this afternoon. So those are the drivers who are imminently going to come under pressure from Russell Taylor. Chris Emery 1-3-3. Taylor and Charlie of the Reds at the moment. And there's Taylor coming down the back straight behind John Rigg 29, who almost turns over again on that turn. His car seems to like that curb and gets airborne every time. 36 Ed Panic has now been passed by that man, Martin Lamb, in 52. So that wrapped Panic down another place. And there's Taylor. He's edging closer to them. He's on the same straight as some of the place drivers now. Virtually certain to get in amongst the paid placings. But can he catch the leader, Jimmy Wallace? Well, there's Wallace going through. So Wallace on the pits turn. Now moving down the back straight. So we see Wallace come off that turnstile bend in the number 16 car. We'll look for the chasing cars. Martin Lamb in second, and there's Ed Panic third. Paul Carter 4, Phil Denherde 5, Chris Emery 6, and Russell Taylor 7. So Russell Taylor up into 7th place. Threatening now to take 6th place from Chris Emery 1-3-3. And moving past that Starman as though he was a novice driver there, Russell Taylor, really making it look easy. So Taylor into 6th, and it looks as though he's going to get up into the top 3 without too much trouble, but I think he's going to have a hard job to catch Jimmy Wallace, because he's not doing much about that half a lap distance between himself and the leader, Jimmy Wallace. Oh, and there's Taylor just forcing the pace a little bit. Now giving Ed Panic a rough treatment around that bend. So Taylor certainly not hanging about as Ed Panic finds out there, and round goes Panic. Does well to recover, but certainly loses his position to Russell Taylor. Out of the shadow, into the sunshine he goes. So Taylor, by my reckoning, into 3rd place. As he comes down the home straight again, going very close to the fence. They've got 3 laps to run. So it looks as though Taylor, in fact, in 4th place, as Jimmy Wallace, the leader, goes through there in number 16. In second, it's 52, Martin Lamb. And Russell Taylor now up to 3rd place. So Taylor in 3rd, but I think that's probably as high as he's going to get, because the 2 in front of him are some way clear. It's Wallace and Lamb, 16 and 52. And that is the lead man, Jimmy Wallace, coming through from the turnstile bend onto the home straight. And he's about to take the checker flag. I thought he was about to start his last, but in fact that was the checker flag. So Jimmy Wallace takes it. Martin Lamb finishes 2nd in 52, and from the 1 lap handicap, home in 3rd place was Russell Taylor there in 7.44. So a good drive by Russell. Managed to get up into 3rd place. That'll double the points he gets for that position. But unfortunately for him, Jimmy Wallace and Martin Lamb managed to get away early on and secure the 1st and 2nd places. Jimmy Wallace, incidentally, the top Scottish driver in the Formula 2 World Championship, which comes next month. He starts on the 2nd row of the grid for that one. Russell Taylor down on the 6th row of the grid in the World Championship final. And that's really going to make things rather interesting. Well, that's our race winner here in the last Formula 2 event of the afternoon. From Scotland, car number 16, Jimmy Wallace. And on to the last event of the day then. It's the Formula 1 race 4, the all-comers race, and another driver with a one-lap handicap. This time it's John Lund, car number 53. He won the Formula 1 final. And, of course, of more significance this time, the fact that he's on double points because he was the ScreenSport SuperStars Series leader before today. And he will be on double points in that competition if he can get into the placings, which are the first 8. With not too much traffic on the track, he should be able to get in that top 8 and therefore double his points haul in this one. And I would think, having won the final today, when the points are totaled up, he will still be the top man in the ScreenSport SuperStars Series. As we move through the closing stages, we've got a round coming up at Mildenhall in the next week, in fact. And then we've got a further round to come from Skegness Stadium in September. And the series rounds off with the grand final at Coventry Stadium. So we're going into the closing stage of the series, and John Lund looking good at the top. The top 24 point scorers, in fact, go into the final 3 races. And that's how the series will be decided. And those are the star men. Ray Tilsley, 85. Not doing too well this afternoon and not enjoying a very happy weekend because last night he was involved in a World Championship semi-final and blew a tyre when he was lying 5th, so there'll be no Ray Tilsley in the World Final this year. But there's the green flag back at Aycliffe in the ScreenSport SuperStars. The last race of the day, John Lund with a one-lap handicap leads them off. How far up the places will he get? The Blues moving away down the straight there. And we've had plenty of entertainment from the blue top drivers this afternoon. And there's a couple of them doing some entertaining right at the beginning. Buster Watson, 59, and Steve Booth, 446. And they've tangled out. Buster Watson always right foot hard down. And right foot hard down too much there as he tangles out with Steve Booth. And that's the cars chasing through as Buster Watson sets up a dust storm on the infield over on the far side. Some pushing and shoving down there. John Paget in the fence, not for the first time this afternoon in the 449 car. Gerald Taylor has tangled out with Peter Hall. That's the 250 and 511 cars come together. Taylor the blue top. And now Wayman edging his way past Mr. Beef as they go through the back straight. So the lead car comes down towards the pits turn. It's Neil Brigg in 87 who leads the way. C-grade white roof driver. And there's Wayman sticking, as always, to that inside line as much as possible, trying to nudge the opposition out wide. And this time Ray Tilsley does the opposite. He nudges Wayman out wide, and Tilsley's gone back past Wayman, so a bit of needle creeping in there between those two. And there's Joe Jopling, 452, Jester Joe doing a bit of pushing and shoving, so Wayman not getting it all his own way in this one. We're back with the leaders on the home straight, and through they come. And it's Ian Smith who's taken over up front now in 367. The white top Neil Brigg relegated to second, car number 87. And that's the gap between them, first and second, with third just edging into the picture. Ian Smith the leader, Neil Brigg second, Arthur Gibson just going past Neil Brigg. And Tilsley making a good move forward, and Wayman's taken him away down there on that turn. So Tilsley gets the bumper treatment from Wayman. There certainly is some needle creeping in between those two. Or maybe that Tilsley will come back and have another go at Wayman during the race, but look how far up the field John Lund has got now in number 53. He's already putting pressure on Wayman, and it's possible that Lund could emulate Taylor we saw in the previous race for the Formula 2s and get into the top 3. He's gone past Wayman. Beautiful manoeuvre there by John Lund. And Lund must be in the top 5 or 6 now and chasing hard after the leaders. That's Graham Francis putting under pressure now. And Lund is through to third in the number 53 car. And just for a moment there I thought that Franz had hooked up with him. There's Ray Tilsley, and Ray's still in trouble trying to get his car out of that tangle, and Frankie Wayman's blown a tyre, so he pulls off. Frankie Wayman blows a tyre and goes out of the race. John Lund, of course, we saw finished the final with a flat tyre despite winning it. And he had a flat earlier on this afternoon. At the moment, he's got air in all 4 tyres, and he's going through the field very nicely. So round that pits turn they go, through onto the back straight. And there's one of the drivers who didn't quite last the distance. That's Chris Wilkinson, the driver of the 121 car. sitting on the grass enjoying a summer afternoon watching the racing. That's Ian Smith in trouble over there, 367. We're into the closing stages of this fourth race for the Formula Ones. As they come down the home straight, it's Ian Smith the leader and John Lund second, right behind him in number 53. So John Lund threatening to win this one from a one-lap handicap. Tremendous drive by him. Didn't do too well in the heats, but he won the third, won the final, and he's threatening to win this one as they come back on the home straight. Smith in 367 from Lund, and those are the third and fourth place men coming through down the home straight. Blue tops again. That's first and second. Lund putting the pressure on Smith. Through that turn they come, and the bumpers just touch there as Lund just tells Smith that he's there. He's nudged Smith out wide, and that should be enough for John Lund. Through on the inside he goes. Smith fights back, but Lund finds plenty of acceleration and goes away from him down that straight. So John Lund putting up a superb performance. No doubt about it, he'll keep the lead position in the ScreenSport SuperStars series after today. The number 53 car on his last lap now. And the man who's hotly tipped to win the National Points Championship this year, hotly tipped to win the ScreenSport SuperStars as well. There he is, coming into the home straight. He wins the all-comers race in the number 53 car. Second man across the line was Ian Smith in 367. Graham France finished just behind in third in 216. So there's the man who's the hero of the day here at the Aycliffe Stadium. 53, John Lund, wins the final and then comes out and wins the all-comers race from a one-lap handicap. So tremendous drive by John. Second place confirmed as 367, Ian Smith, and in third it was 216, Graham France. So there's the man of the day here at Aycliffe Stadium, John Lund, the leader of the series before the day began and still the leader at the end of the day, the ScreenSport Formula One Superstar Series. Top man there, John Lund, on his lap of honour. And will he still be top man after the next round next week? Join us for that one. It's from the Mildenhall Stadium. See you then.